go to the first two exercises of the array. The first thing we want to do is use a print array. Now, what you need to know is that there already exists something called print r. So I'm going to search for it. And if I search for it, you will see that it says something like there's an array. So this is an array, right? It has a key and a value. So key A refers to apple, key B refers to banana, key C refers to something else. If you don't give a key, the system will just start with 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on and create keys. Now, what we actually want is something similar as this print array, but we're gonna write it ourselves. So I'm gonna just use this example, get to my code, and put it over here in my, you know what, I'm gonna call this testing. At least it makes it more clear where your functions are. So everything on top are my functions, and I'm testing down here, right? So that's my array called A, and now I want a function called printr. Function, but I'm gonna call it differently, right? I'm just gonna call it print array. Print array, and it takes in an array, just gonna call it like this. And this time I'm not gonna return anything. I'm actually gonna print anything, so that means that I'm gonna use echoes. So let's start with saying echo array, which is my start of my syntax, right? Open it, don't need to close it, because I'm gonna print the echo, close the brackets below. Okay, and in here between I actually need to print the array. Now there's a very simple function called for each you can use. For each has a very nice syntax. It takes the array, which is in our case called R, as value. Okay, so for every array, this part, element in the array, it will take the value. Now that's the apple, the banana, and this part, right? But the thing is that we also have a different key, so we also want to show the key. So this is a way to, if you just want to values, but if you want to keys, you need to say it like this. So this small piece of syntax tells it that you're going to use key and array. So the only thing, wait, why did it jump? We don't need it there. So again, for each and an if, you can actually open a body and start doing stuff in there. But as you see on top here, I have only one value in my if, and if I have only one value in my for each, I don't do that. I'll skip it and just use whatever expression. So this is one expression, you see? Echo, blah, 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 until here, that's one expression. This is a sequence of expression. That's why you need dot points over here to tell it that this expression starts, there's a new one starting here, and this tells you that there's going to be a list until you get to the closing brackets to have all the values. So you can always put this if you want to, even if you just have one expression. But if I have one expression, I will not write it, just like the ifs on top of here. Do I need only one expression? Well, at this moment, I'm just going to do this. Echo key array. Like explained in the previous exercise, if you use double-quoted strings, you can actually just put the $sign key in here, and your system will actually change it to whatever value is in there. So you see this echo over here? I'm going to close it over there. Now, I want to point you back again to the whole idea of one expressions and multiple expressions. You see that the if starts over here. There's no dot point over there. It actually ends over here. So this is one expression, right? The for each the same. This is one expression. Now you could have put this or you could have put that. Again, you say that this is one expression, but opening and closing allows you to put multiple expressions. just as an example. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to remove it all. Always keep in mind this dot point. I mean, if I just would do something as stupid as this, right? What happens now is that my for each just finished. And my next expression is 1 times key value. And I think that it's probably going to give an error because it's not part of the for each. So be very careful to not put a dot point over there, and do put one over here. Okay? Okay, so what happens if I do something like this? I've got my print array now. So now I'm gonna over here just print right, that's my array. So what I expect that it will do now is print this part, and it will say C pointing to array, but it will not show me the X, Y, I, and Z stuff. That's what I expect. And see if I made a mistake or not. Everyone can make mistakes. Okay, that's what I get, you see? Problem is that there's no white space over here. So I'm gonna change that, put 1 white space over there. There you go. That's better. Normally you should have a comma over here, but that's complicating stuff. There are ways to do that, but I'm not going to show that in this screencast. Okay, but the thing is, this array is actually exactly an array. So what we're going to do is we're going to use recursion like in the previous ones by saying that if it's an array, you need to do the print array. So when is something an array? Well, you could actually go and search the... Oh, there it is. So easy to find. Is array. That's a function. It takes a boolean, and what it does is, if it's an array, it will return true and else not. Okay. What can be an array? In our case, the value can be an array. So what we need to do over here in our for each, we're going to use again just one expression, an if. But remember that the if looks like this, right? So if is array value. If our value is an array, what do? Well, in that case, we're gonna do print R. Not with the R, because then you get in an infinitive loop, but with the value. So we're gonna print this part. That's gonna be our recursive step. Okay, because now I have an if, of course I have also an else. So the if else is actually just one part, right? So this is the if part, this is the else part. And inside the if there is one expression, and inside the else there's just one expression. Okay, let's see if it works. There you go. So you have array A, B, C, banana. The problem is I kind of lost the C. So what I actually need to do is this part requires more than one value. So I really need to have a body over here. So you now understand why many people always put the bodies, right? Even if there is only one expression. I mean, if you are just a starting programmer, it's always good to put the brackets, but I wanted to show you why you actually need to put them, right? There's a reason why you need to put all this stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna echo first my key. Right? I don't want to miss my key. So go back over there, and there should be a C over there now. Oh, wait a minute. I put key without a dollar sign. Reload. There it is. C. Okay. That's the basic stuff with arrays, ifs, for eaches. I'm gonna stop here and do the more advanced exercises in new screencasts.